The Raiders' schedule is out, and I don't know about y'all, I am fired up for this season. Quite frankly, this is the most fired up I've been for a Raiders season in a long time. And if you're a real one, and if you're rocking with the Raiders Report and the Nation, click that like button, y'all. Coming up here, I'm going to tell you how many games the Raiders are going to win this season. Raider Nation, what's going on? It's Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report. And coming up on today's show, I'm going to go through every single game for the Silver and Black. And I'm going to tell you, win or loss. Some of these are tough. But you know what? I am really fired up for this upcoming season. I can't wait to see what Pete Carroll, John Spytek have in store. Before we get into our record prediction show, Panda Subs is today's sponsor, and if you're trying to get into better shape, use code GENTY at pandasubs.com, and you're going to be able to get 25% off. I'll tell you what my wedding stack is, the products that I've been using to try to lose a little bit of weight. That way I can look my best on my wedding day, which, crazy enough, 22 days away. Let's quickly roll through here this Raiders 2025 schedule. If you weren't live with us yesterday, when we were breaking it all down, Week 1 opener on the road against New England, that Week 8 bye. The Week 7 game against the Chiefs. If you haven't seen the schedule release video on that one, I tweeted it out at Mitchell Renz 365. It is absolutely hilarious. Quite frankly, I almost wonder if the NFL is going to tell the Raiders to take it down. Week 9, you got the Jags, but look at the ending of this schedule. Broncos, Cowboys, Browns, we'll see what that team looks like. Chargers, Broncos, Eagles, Texans, Giants, Chiefs. There is a lot of really tough games, so I think for the Raiders, it's going to be really important for them to get this season started off on the right foot. That way, you're going to go through that ending of that gauntlet of a season, but I still hope that the Raiders can power through. So what I want you to do is look into those crystal balls of yours, and I want you to predict the Raiders' record in 2025. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so please go down to that pinned comment and answer it for me, what you think the Raiders' record is going to be in 2025. Let's first go with Week 1 on the road against the New England Patriots. I know that road game scares some people, but to me, I always look at Week 1 as who do I think on paper is the better football team? And I really do think that on paper, the better football team is the Las Vegas Raiders. Did the New England Patriots make some adjustments? Yes, they did. But the Las Vegas Raiders also made some good adjustments this offseason. Tom Brady gets to go back to New England. We get to go up against Josh McDaniels. I do think that this is going to be a much closer game than maybe what some Raiders fans indicate. I also think it's going to be a lot lower of a scoring game than what some people think. But give me the Raiders to win this one, and we're starting off 1-0. Let's go now to Week 2, Monday Night Football up against the Chargers. I can't freaking wait, man. The home opener, Chargers coming over to Las Vegas. And if there's one thing that I am going to say a lot of times on this show, and I want people to go check it out. Geno Smith in a dome, Geno Smith indoors is a totally different quarterback. 30 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, a quarterback rating of 110 in his 14 games when he played indoors in Seattle. We got 12 indoor games this season, and this is going to be one of them. Give me the Raiders to get that dub. I want to see Ashton Jeanty, Brock Bowers, Mad Max. The place is going to be electric for the home opener because I really think that Raiders fans feel like for the first time in a long time, we actually have a chance to win some games this season. Maybe we make the playoffs. Maybe we win a few games in the playoffs. But I mean this. I am fired up about this football team, and we're starting 2-0 this season. Let's go to Week 3. Now we're going to travel to the Commanders. And this is a tough football game, right? The losers in the NFC Championship season last year to the Philadelphia Eagles. They got Jaden Daniels, Chip Kelly going up against Cliff Kingsbury, but on a short week, on the road, outdoors, I'm just going to go with Washington to get a dub here. They were a really good football team. If they even get better, we will see. Sometimes you see a little bit of a sophomore slump for a quarterback like Jaden Daniels, but I do think that that young man is special. Washington gets a dub. Raiders fall to 2-1. Let's go to Week 4 against the Bears. And if you don't think that Raider fans are going to have this game circled, I bet Bears fans have it circled as well. Chicago wanted Ashton Jeanty. The Raiders wanted Ben Johnson. But I'll be real. I love the staff that we have, and I am really happy about the staff that we have. But I've been doing this show for a long time, and the Raiders are always going to lose a game that I feel like that they probably should win. And this is going to be the game that I think that they're going to fall. They're going to be really concentrated on the Chargers, really concentrated on the Commanders, and unfortunately, they're going to lose to the Chicago Bears, putting their season at 2-2. If you want to pull up for Raiders watch parties all season long, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure those notifications are turned on. I'm also going to be live in the offseason 4 days a week. Monday, Friday, Madden watch parties. Tuesday, Thursday, our live normal shows that we do here on the Raiders Report. Even though it is the offseason, you will get videos every single day from this YouTube channel. If that interests you, make sure you're subscribed. Let's go to week 5 on the road against the Indianapolis Colts. And this is going to be a game that's indoors. And I think that both of these football teams are going to play a very similar physical style, really trying to run the football. The problem with Indy, I don't really know if they have a quarterback, quite frankly. So give me the Raiders to win this one and go to 3-2. My biggest concern with this Raiders defense is their inability to cover deep. With the Indianapolis, that's going to be a team that runs the football a lot. And I do think that the Raiders have one of the better run-defending teams in the NFL right now, though we might be one of the worst against the pass. Let's go to week 6 up against the Tennessee Titans. And playing against the AFC South is kind of nice. Don't get me wrong, I do anticipate that Indy's probably going to be better. I anticipate Tennessee's going to be better. Y'all know how much I love Cam Ward, but the Raiders are going to beat Tennessee just like they're going to beat Indianapolis. And I have the Raiders going to 4-2, which going back and looking at it, there was a part of me where I was like, shit, man, I could easily see the Raiders going 5-1, but that's also about the Raiders. I could also see them maybe going 2-4. We'll see what ends up happening. I got the Raiders winning. And now we got week 7 on the road against the Kansas City Chiefs. You know that the refs are going to be on their side. You know that you got to beat not only Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but you got to beat the guys in the stripes. And I know that that's not an easy thing. Plus, this game is going to be outdoors. So give me the Raiders, unfortunately, to lose this one and drop to 4-3 on the season. So now we're 4-3. We're getting ready to go into the bye. And that week 8 bye is going to be really critical for the Raiders because I think this is an opportunity in the season where, you evaluate certain players that if you're not considering bringing them back, Dylan Parham, final year of his contract. How's Tyree Wilson playing? How's Michael Mayer looking? What does Trey Tucker look like? These are all players that I think the Raiders would start to consider at the NFL trade deadline, which last season was November 2nd. It ended up happening in week 10. And for the Raiders week 8, this is where you start to have some of those conversations. We'll get into the back half of the schedule here in just a moment. But today's show, again, is sponsored by and presented by Panda Sups. If you want to know the products that I use from Panda that are helping me get in shape for my wedding, I use their full premium protein. I am a chocolate dude. I love their chocolate protein. I'll also say if you want something that's a little bit fruity, and this is the time of the year, summertime, pineapple whip, delicious. Strawberry is delicious. And then they have another one. Oh, the new blueberry one that they just come out with. That's unbelievable. Their BCAAs are going to help you stay hydrated. The creatine is going to help you get the most out of your workout. And we drink some beers here on this show, which you guys know. So I use the cuts to burn a little bit of fat. But guess what? All these products, I want you to get something that works for you. Because what works for me might not work for you. My fiance, Alex, she really likes the greens. My fiance, Alex, she also really likes the pre-workout. I'm somebody where I don't really need pre-workout because I feel like I can fire myself up to go work out in the morning. Whatever you need, PandaSup's got. PandaSups.com, code GENTY for 25% off. Let's go to week 9 here, and it's the Jacksonville Jaguars. And again, the schedule release video of JPJ, I think he was trolling Jacksonville, being like, Duval, because JPJ was like, Raiders. Loved it. I also love that I think the Raiders are going to get a dub up against the Jags, and this is going to be a fun game to watch Travis Hunter. I'm not going to lie. I want to see if he's able to play both sides of the football. Trevor Lawrence, though, doesn't scare me. I think Geno Smith is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence. If you were to ask me, who would I rather have, Trevor Lawrence or Geno Smith as my quarterback, I'm taking Geno Smith every single day of the week. So because of that, give me the Raiders to win and go to 5-3. Though, now we got a short week. Week 10 on the road against the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. Having a short week does concern me a little bit, and because it's on the road, there were certain games on this schedule that, don't get me wrong, every time we went up against the Chiefs, every time we went up against the Broncos, every time we went up against the Chargers, I want to take the Raiders. But in certain games, I did actually do a coin flip, and this was one of the coin flip games, and it landed on a loss. So for that reason, 5-4. If you're making fun of me for doing the coin flip, then you don't remember how awesome a coin almost predicted a perfect Raiders season just a few years ago. If you remember that, give me a real one down below. Let's go to week 11 against the Dallas Cowboys. My fiance is a Cowboys fan. Chugs' wife is a Cowboys fan. We live down here in Dallas. This game means something different to me, and this is going to be probably the number one game that I'm going to try to get out to that weekend, and there's no way in hell. I don't care if the coin would have landed on a loss. No way in hell I'm predicting the Raiders to lose to the Cowboys. But I also think that Dallas is a very overrated team, and I'm not afraid to say it. Like, I think Dak, Geno, quarterback-wise, very equal. I think the Raiders have a better running game. Dallas has more talented wide receivers. We have a better tight end room. And then defense-wise, I think both defenses, a lot of question marks overall. Give me the Raiders to win, go to 6-4. Week 12 time here up against the Cleveland Browns. This is another home game for the Las Vegas Raiders, and Cleveland's quarterback situation could put them in a situation where they might be the worst team in the NFL. And I don't know. Who? Chuck said Shador. I'll tell you this. If you told me right now would I want Shador Sanders to play in this Week 12 game, yes. My only concern, it might be the most expensive game on a slate. I'm not even kidding you. But let's be real. The Browns, they're going to win some football games. Every team wins some football games. The Raiders were terrible last year. They won some football games. But when I look at both of these rosters, I can't honestly see how Cleveland takes care of business against the Raiders. Raiders are 7-4. Holy shit, this is fun. Week 13 on the road against the Chargers. I know that this is going to be a road game, but the Chargers are the third most popular team in their own city. I do think that, again, Los Angeles is a good football team. I think Harbaugh's got them doing the right things. And if I'm going to sit up here and try to be honest, I also think that it's more than reasonable to say that the Raiders and Chargers are going to split this season. So because of that, I have the Chargers winning this one and dropping the Raiders' record down to 7-5. Before I reveal the back half of the schedule, because if we're at 7-5, we got a legit shot to make the playoffs. I think if the Raiders want to make the playoffs, you got to be at around 10 games. 9 wins probably ain't going to do it. 11, I don't even know if 10 would have got the Raiders in last season. The AFC West, though, the AFC in general, it's stacked. If you haven't already followed me on social media, I am on Instagram and I'm on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, at Mitchell Renz 365. And if you want to participate this offseason during the regular season in our duck races, add me as a friend on Venmo, at Mitchell Renz 365. We gave away yesterday $560. We've given away $2,600. We've given away $4,000. We have given away thousands upon thousands of dollars during Raiders game days. And if you want a shot to win some, add me as a friend on Venmo, at Mitchell Renz 365. Let's go to Week 14 now, up against the Broncos. And this is going to be the home game. I think that for the Raiders, this would be the revenge game for them personally. And, you got to sit back, and if I'm going to split with the Chargers, we're going to split with the Broncos. I think both of these teams are very equally matched. Denver's got a better offensive line. Raiders' running game, I think, is a little bit more impressive. Raiders have the better quarterback. Denver's got the better defense. I think whoever gets out to an early lead and can establish that running game, because if you can get the running game going and you make Bo Nix beat you, that's how the Raiders are going to win that game. I think Bo Nix is about to have a sophomore slump as well. Let's go to Week 15 here on the road against the Philadelphia Eagles. And going on the road in the city of brotherly love, you're not going to get a lot of brotherly love. Also, the Raiders schedule release video that they did, I think they were kind of making fun of the Eagles' tush push. Thought it was really clever. Unfortunately, though, I can't see the Raiders going into Philadelphia and picking up a win after a game that, let's be honest, if you're telling me, do I want to win the Broncos game? Do I want to win the Eagles game? I would love to be able to beat the defending Super Bowl champs, but I'm always going to pick the division rival, and I think that's where the Raiders' attention is going to be a little bit more. So for that reason, losing to the Eagles, going to 8-6. Let's go to Week 16. Jeremy's got a shit grin on his face right now, up against Houston, and I did a coin flip here because, believe me, I wanted to sit up here and say Raiders are going to take care of business against Houston. But I thought a coin flip was fair, and it landed on the Houston Texans. If you told me the Texans beat the Raiders, I wouldn't be all that surprised by it. If you told me the Raiders go in there and they beat Houston, I don't know if I'd be all that surprised by it, because the one thing that the Texans got to prove is that they have an offensive line that can deal with this Raiders front. And if this Raiders front is able to get pressure on C.J. Stroud getting 4, I might change my answer. But I do think the Texans are going to be a bounce-back team. 8-7. Let's go to Week 17 here. It's against the New York Giants, and whether it's going to be Jackson Dart, whether it's going to be Russell Wilson, I do think the Giants are one of the weaker teams still In the National Football League, though, they got some talented players, no doubt about it. Can't wait to see what Abdul Carter ends up looking like. But I do have the Raiders winning this football game, which is the Christmas week. And again, if anybody's planning on going this game, my dad wants to go, and he wants to take my Uncle Wayne, who is a Giants fan. So if you want to hang out with my dad and my Uncle Wayne, and you're going to go to this game, you got tickets. If you don't mind sitting with two knuckleheads, please hit me up. We'll buy some beers. We'll buy some rounds, no doubt about it. Let's go to the final game of the year. Week 18 against the Chiefs. And in all honesty, if the Raiders are 9-7, okay? You're 9-7. If you beat Kansas City, you got a legit shot to make the playoffs. Maybe the Chiefs rest their starters. I'm not going to do a season prediction video with the idea that the Chiefs are resting the starters because that tells me that they won the AFC West. So what did I do? I did a coin flip, and the coin landed on the Kansas City Chiefs, which I hated. Not going to lie to you. I wanted to be able to sit up here and go 10-7. But I do think 9-8 is a good year for this Raiders team. A team that won only 4 games last season, and let's be honest, like, to win 4 games last season was a blessing. You're lucky that you won 4. So to get this much of an improvement, I do think at least shows that the Raiders are moving in the right direction. And for Pete Carroll, for John Spytek, they got this 3-year window. If you're able to get 1 game better every single year after a 9-8 year, 10-7 year, 11-6 year, every single Raiders fan, I think would sign up for that. So I have the Raiders going 9-8 this season with this team. Maybe they could make the playoffs. Other areas, though, I am still interested in going out and getting a free safety. I'm interested in going out and getting a nickel corner. I would like to have a little bit more depth on that linebacker position. If the Raiders go out and they address those 3 spots there, I absolutely could see this team winning 10 games, maybe even 11 games. But right now with this current roster, I have the Raiders going 9-8. So let me know down below what Raiders game you're looking forward to the most. And let me know if you're going to any of those games. I would love to see where we're going to be at because I would like to be able to go out to Vegas and hang out with the nation. Appreciate all y'all tuning in today. And reminder, I am going to be live later on today, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific.